Welcome back to PerpTech Daily. I'm Aaron. In today's episode, we have a lot to cover when it comes to the PerpTech scene and more. We're going to be talking about meme coins a little bit in this episode because those are really the two sectors that matter at this point in crypto is PerpTech scene and meme coins. So first of all, Hyperliquid, there's been some talks and tweets that we'll go over in this episode talking about how A16Z apparently might have been selling off some Hyperliquid. And A16Z is one of the biggest VCs. Not sure how true it is, but we'll go over the tweets and stuff. Lighter, not too much news about it. One of the team members went on a podcast recently, had a really good show. We'll cover that as well. Just kind of going over that briefly, but let's go straight to the prices. Hyperliquid sitting around $60. I really do, once again, I think this is a great entry right here. I have a long-term mindset when it comes to Hyperliquid and Lighter. I don't view these two as meme coins. I view these as real long-term trades. I think they're going to compound like equities. And you can see here, it's still in this range here. So to me, this looks like a pretty good opportunity. Once again, could go up, could go down in the short term. But I think long-term, you're going to look back and say $60. Good spot to be in. Lighter took a big hit as well. Sitting around $2.26 right now. Once again, I think if you have a long-term mindset when it comes to these two, looks like a pretty good entry. So overall, good stuff. Bitcoin sitting around 63,000, and that's kind of the name of the game. You know, we want to have conviction in our long-term plays and be able to stay put even when things are going down. Like, you know, the price just went down, pretty good amount, but I still have conviction in the project, and these, this leads to good opportunities. Some macro news, pretty funny. I wanted to cover this. Trump media considers charging traders and investors up to $100,000 per month for faster access to President Trump's Truth Social posts. So pretty interesting stuff. If you are a very high net worth whale individual and you want to, get faster access, you can pay $100,000 a month, which is a lot. I mean, that's $1.2 million a year. So this is, I guess, a President Trump's whale calls club. Interesting stuff going on, but I thought I'd cover this. So anyways, to the Hyperliquid Eco page. Hyperliquid's done over $1.5 million in protocol fees in the last 24 hours, doing a good job there. TWAT buys for these next 24 hours, not that strong. People are buying the dip, as you can see on the chart right here, of course. People are always buying that hype dip. Hype holders, this metric right here, slowly starting to come up here. 200, almost 250K holders. Open interest is, made an all-time high in the past week, and it's, I think, kind of plateauing at this point. Now, one metric that is coming really close to hitting a new milestone is the buybacks metric. This is huge. So as you can see right here, Hyperliquid is close to hitting 300 million all-time buybacks, okay? Absolutely huge. Lighter is a lot smaller, but I'm talking about Hyperliquid here, 300 million. So really cool milestone, and, at the end of the day, about, 3/10 of the way to $1 billion. Sorry, my math. I'm not that great at math. So, but now let's talk about this. So the dumping. There's been a lot of dumping lately with hype, which normally doesn't happen. So take a look at this from Woo Blockchain. Suspected A16Z. If you don't know what A16Z is, they are the largest venture capital firm, arguably in the world. Anyways, they have a crypto unit, and they're investing in a bunch of crypto projects. Anyways, A16Z linked wallet sells $6.5 million in hype as token size 9%. A wallet suspected to be linked to A16Z sold 105K hype, worth about $7 million at an average price of $61 according to Hyper Insight. Another 190K hype was transferred through aggregation routes tied to exchanges, including Bybit. Though it remains unclear whether the tokens were fully sold, the address moved a total of 315K hype during the day and now holds about 445K hype on Hyper EVM. Hype was trading around $58, down almost 10% over the past 24 hours, falling as low as $58.89. So, and my kind of thoughts around this is don't really care. As someone who sees Hyperliquid long term and understands where it's going, this doesn't really bother me. I assume A16Z, Hyperliquid has no VCs, but obviously there's probably large funds that have bought off the open market. That's the only way. And it's a really beautiful thing about Hyperliquid. The only way guys like A16Z were able to get into Hyperliquid is they had to buy the tokens off the open market. Once again, you can't stop a whale like A16Z from coming in and just scooping up a ton of supply. They probably have a ton of Hyperliquid. I would assume probably hundreds of millions possibly. Maybe I'm wrong. Not sure. I would say probably 100M. I don't know. I haven't done a ton of blockchain investigation. I'm kind of just saying shit right there, what I just said, but just want to throw this out there. Now to Lighter, Flip here, who's now a part of the Lighter team, went on Easy's show. Easy's a big influencer, and he had a really good interview. If you are a fan of Lighter and you like Lighter and you want to learn more about it, you need to follow this kid on Twitter, okay? I'm sorry for calling him a kid. I'm not sure how old he is. He's probably around my age. I'm 23. But anyways, if we go down to... let me find his profile real quick for you guys, because you guys need to follow him. You need to follow him. If you like Lighter, you need to follow. This kid is very smart.
Delphi.
Very, very smart.
I think we're also at
and he's absolutely killing it. He recently got hired at Lighter. He used to work at Delphi Digital. Delphi does a lot of stuff. They've done a ton of work covering Lighter. Then he got hired by the Lighter team, which is absolutely amazing. And he went on their show yesterday, or Easy show.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you enjoy Lighter, you should watch this. This guy's an employee, and he's absolutely pushing himself. So definitely go watch that. Good stuff to see from the team. And this is a part of the reason I like the Lighter team, because they're out here doing stuff, communicating, playing that, role. Ecosystem, that kind of thing, token sentiment, how the team feels about the team matters a lot. It really does. Anyways, I want to point this out at the end. I made a article on Pump Fund yesterday. I dropped it. And I know mostly I talk about Hyperliquid and Lighter, but I think Pump Fund's definitely something worth talking about. If you're not into kind of the meme coin stuff, you can just drop off this video. But on this channel, I'm just going to sometimes talk about what I want. And I made this article on Pump Fund. I think Pump Fund's in a really interesting spot. I kind of covered how it's potentially undervalued, the fact that it's done so much in fees. Now, Pump Fund does not have the same buyback mechanism as Hyperliquid or Lighter. Only 50% of the fees go back to buybacks, and they also have a different mechanism. Okay, it's not the same thing. They don't have the buyback and burn that actually no, I think they do run a buyback and burn. But it's just not, they're only doing 50% fees, and also there's a lot of sentiment issues around Pump. But I think Pump potentially could be a good bet in terms of risk return. It could be. Meme coins, after this whole Robinhood thing, have been proven to still drive a ton of volume. So if you want to bet on the #1 powerhouse for meme coins, it's Pump Fund. And it's kind of funny. I do believe that meme coins will be one of the core categories to actually make it out of crypto and last long term. I think it's going to be RWA, which PerpDexes uses, stables, which obviously stables run PerpDexes, and meme coins. I think those are the big three of crypto at this point. I think it's RWA, stables, and meme coins. That's all I got for today's video. Make sure to go check me out on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, thank you for watching.